Okay. We're 2 minutes out. Only 26. Any more coming in? No. Okay, I will. What's this? Share screen. Wait, this up first. Then I will share screen. Share. Okay. We are doing it first. Okay, we're doing, hold on, a few more people coming in. How do I do this?
Juan?
Sorry?
Juan,
Yes, I'm listening.
can you send us the slide?
Okay, it's already in the, what do you call it? I've sent it, all my lectures to Dr. Yasmin.
You got Spectrum.
So it's in the Spectrum. Can you check?
Wait,
Is there a way? Can you check it now?
Ada.
Ada?
Yep.
Okay. Can you open 8, 9, 10? I think the standard semua dalam satu kot. You buka yang standard tu. So we're looking at standard 8, 9, and 10. So it doesn't look like anyone else is coming in.
The file name is not the standard. Is it PDF?
What is the file name? MEAS. MEAS, Malaysian Estate Agency Standard. Azwin, what did you send me? Oh, this is lecture 1A to AA. Doesn't look like what I sent her. Let's see. What is 2A? Law of Contract, lecture 1. No. I think lecture 1 we did then lecture 2. You check lecture 2 or 2A? I'll tell you what, I will send it to you. Okay, I will WhatsApp to you now. Jap. Oh, faster to WhatsApp, isn't it? Okay. So. I think you have to, I don't know why it's written 2 there. It should be, anyway. I'll send it to you now. Look at your WhatsApp. Let's check. Notes. Oh, maybe because dia shorten it kot. Tapi mana ada 2A, 2A. Okay. Standard notes. Okay, I think the numbering tak betul kot.
Standard berapa? 8.
Nanti sekejap. Law of contract. L3. Okay, apa dia ni? Standard 1 and 4, 5, 6. Why did I send to her? Waiting in the room. Wait. What is it? Notes. This one good. Yeah, I think it's, yeah. Okay, this is the one. Wait, I'll send it to you. Okay, this is all of the standards. I put it into one. I think your labeling kat situ dah tukar, so I'm not sure. This is what I sent to her. Ni kena ambil masa sikit.
File name yang nombor 2.
Nombor 2, is it? No, I think lecture 3 kot. Nombor 2 is law, bukan? It should be RE practice MEAS standard. Okay, I dah hantar kat WhatsApp.
Alright, thank you, madam.
Okay, and nanti you counter check which one is that. I think it's one of those, either 2 or 2A. It could be 2A.
Yeah, 2A.
It could be 2A. Betul tak? Okay. Tak ada siapa nak masuk lagi Okay. Can we start the lecture now? Can I play?
Oh, bukan 2A. Lecture 2.
2
Yang 2.
2A apa benda pula?
2A law. Warna hijau. Sekejap. Law of agency.
The whole thing kelang kabut the apa? Okay.
Tak apalah.
Nanti Michael, you text with me. Okay, we boleh bagi label betul balik ke? Tak apa, nanti I and Faikal will work it out, okay? And tengok macam mana labeling.
Alright.
Okay? Then easier for you. Meanwhile, you have it on your WhatsApp. Okay, let's begin. Time is running. This will take about 15 minutes. So that means 27. Okay. Let's do standard 8, and this is viewing inspections. So what is the definition of viewing here? It
Boleh dengar tak?
The inspection of the property by the property
Dia macam tak kuat sangat.
for buying or renting. developing the property. Now, the law of agency says that you must promote the client's interest. But the board adds that in promoting your client's interest, you must be fair to all. So in this situation, the first standard states that in all the negotiations and drafting of letters, forms, and agreements, all parties must be addressed fairly and justly in all these negotiations and agreements and letters. And upon getting the instruction and you are getting all the queries about the property, it is required that you entertain all these inquiries, even though it may not be what your client wants, but this is good for developing and building your networking. The standard says that not to place your signboard on the property without obtaining your client's approval. And you should endeavor to make sure that because this seems to be the situation currently.
Oh dear,
People
sorry.
move other people's signboards and replace it with their own. The registered estate agent is encouraged to detail all the facts about the listing in the listing fact sheet. And these details can include terms and condition of sale, letting, and lease, and up-to-date inventory of the lease if applicable. They are also encouraged to use this is to disclose any information about the property, permanent facts about the property that's being disclosed to the prospect. So the prospect will have to acknowledge that they have.
My God, what's this?
The registered estate agent is also encouraged to document every the viewing form, preferably the one that's in the board standard form.
I'm sorry, I don't know why
form will have to be signed by the prospect after viewing the property. Also, listing agents need to be present in all viewing, even with the co-agency, because this is responsible. So with regards to co-agency, all
will everybody please mute you punya ni?
regards to the property must be with the knowledge of the listing agent and under his overall supervision. Again, the standard also reminds the registered estate agent not to communicate in writing an opinion of value of a property, as this may be construed as a formal valuation, and that is a criminal offense, and only a registered valuer can do such a thing. The next point.
Oops. Hey, what happened? Anyway, this is about unsupportable statement. It's an example where there is a piece of land which is adjacent to an open space. So a client asks the registered estate agent, is this an open space? Sorry, adjacent, there's a piece of land which is adjacent to a vacant land, okay? So the client asks the registered agent, is this an open space? So without checking his information, the registered estate agent says that yes, it is an open space. But in actual fact, it was not. And after that, the building, a few years later, building came up. So which means it is not an open space, because an open space will have to be gazetted and you can't build on it. So before the learning here is, before giving any information check your information, okay? Make sure you have the right knowledge and you have to check with relevant authorities when any questions. So if you're not sure, you just tell them, I don't know at this time, I can find out for you if you really want to know, okay? That's it. Sorry, the ending part, I don't know what happened. Okay. Can we go on to the next one, or do you want to discuss it? Okay, everybody's mute now.
Can proceed, can proceed.
Huh? Go to the next one, or we want to discuss? We have
Proceed.
proceed.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay, now we go to standard 9. Okay, tadi standard 8 was viewing. Standard 9 is the client's account. Okay. Start. Hi, let's go to standard 9, which is the client's account. So what is the client's account? Client's account is actually a bank account, which is the agency's bank account. However, it is entitled client's account because the whole idea of this account is just to keep monies on behalf of the client before it is handed over to him. Okay, so there is 2 accounts. The company will have their own account, which they will put in all their money, and the client's account where only the client's money will go into this account. Now, why is it important to have a standard for client's account? Because the nature of work of the registered estate agent is that they, sometime or other, they will be holding clients' money. And it will give them fiduciary duties. So they have responsibilities over this money. Because of this, it is important that we have standards on how this money is to be handled. Because the board sees this duty, fiduciary duty, as very important and will take severe action if anybody breaches this duty. Now, the purpose of keeping this client's account is to make sure that all the money entrusted to the registered agent are properly recorded and are maintained and monitored by them. Now, the first standard says that the client's account must be kept separate from the operating account. So this is why there's 2 distinct accounts. One is the company's account, the other is the client's account. It is kept separately. The registered estate agent's company must keep a register of all the client's accounts. You see, you can have 1 client account per company or more than 1, depending on the situation. So the company must have a register for all the accounts, and this register must show the records of the amount received, the name and address of the payer, whether the sum is a contract or pre-contract deposit, whether it includes sums with respect to contract that is related to this, to the first contract, and the capacity of the sum. Okay, is it who received it and for what purpose, and the identity of the person if it is received not by the relevant parties in the contract, and the date of the receipt. The registered estate agent should, within 12 months of each period, should deliver to the board an auditor's report issued by a registered professional auditor. Now, if the company has got more than 2 or more places of business, either branches or subsidiary companies, then they have to produce separate certificates for separate accounting periods and also locations, and also the auditor's report. They may adopt in each place of business a separate certificate too. And for each year, they should cover all of clients' money held and received by the firm. How to draw money from the client's account. Now, the firm will need one of the following signatures. As stated under Rule 53, the signature will be the registered estate agent, a partner or director of the firm of the registered estate agency, or a registered estate agent in employment by the registered estate agent. However, in the standard 9.2.13, the registered agent in the case of proprietorship will be the one that will be signing, or in partnership, a registered partner, or a corporate, a registered director. In exceptional circumstances, person expressly authorized by the board. So this money only drawn from the client's account can only be drawn by check in favor of the vendor, purchaser, landlord, or tenant, or any party that is authorized by the client. When the registered estate agent receives client's money, which is in normal cases when he receives the earnest deposit for a sale of a property, this money he has to, without delay, put it into the client's account unless otherwise agreed by the client. Okay. When we say without delay, what does this mean? It means the short period that is reasonably practicable. So what is that can be done and reasonably done? Okay. So that means if it means you just got the check at 12 midnight and banks are not open, you have to do it next morning. So reasonable and practicable. Okay. And once they have collected this money, they must be able to account for all the monies that has been held by them on behalf of the client. Now, if the client's account earns interest or interest-bearing client's account, this has got to be informed to the client and accounted for. Now, the registered estate agent cannot deduct the estate agent fees or the costs or charges from any of the client's account unless he has got the client's written consent. Now, any transfer of sum from the client's account to that of another client is only permissible if it is allowed under the rules. The only circumstances where client's money is not put into the client's account is where this money is received in cash and is required to be paid immediately to the client, or it is received in check or draft okay, what happened again? Is to be received in check or draft, which payable to the client or the third party. But if to third party, the client must authorize it. Okay, and your client's account must have an indemnity insurance. This is to cover the client's money in case of any problems or loss of money for any reason. So this cover must be adequate. So this is in case there is a claim against the insurance, it must be able to meet the amount of claim. So that is what is meant by adequacy. If the registered estate agent of a sole proprietorship passed away, okay, the board can appoint any registered estate agent to operate the client's account until it is settled. Thank you. Always seems to have some problem at the end. Okay. We have how many more minutes? 27. Shall we go on to the next one? 27, 20 more minutes. We can do the last one.
Okay, can proceed.
Okay, let's proceed. This last one seems to have some problems. Okay, let's play from the start. Let's see. This is very short. Let us do standard 10, which is the Tenancy Administration. This is a new addition in the standards. Now, what is the role of the registered estate agent in tenancy administration? So this is managing the landlord and tenant relationship. The idea is to ensure that the property provides the tenants with customer-oriented services, and it is to his satisfaction, to the tenant's satisfaction, and also to enable the landlord's property to attract and be able to retain the tenants. Now, this tenancy administration is not for entire developments or complexes or building with multiple tenants or common area. Now, the registered estate agent is the link between the landlord or the lessor and the tenant or the lessee. So they have to make sure that the tenant or lessee enjoys the premises in peace, and they are also briefed with all the bylaws, the house rules, and his obligations under the tenancy and lease agreement. His role may also include aspects of tenant liaison, handing or taking over of premises, doing billings, collection and disbursements of rents, coordinating with contractors when they're undertaking works on the premises, payment of utilities, property tax and services, monitoring reinstatement of the premises upon termination of expiry of the tenant lease, making sure that it is habitable again. Now, the registered estate agent, if required, can collect rents and also service charges and other charges. And they also must make sure that all this money that they have collected are properly accounted and put into the appropriate account. In doing this, the registered estate agent has to make sure that all the terms and of engagement, business arrangement and procedure and responsibility for specific tasks are duly signed and dated. And they have to implement relevant processes, the way how the rent, service charges and other charges, car park charges and other relevant charges are being collected. And all these monies must be kept properly and also keep proper accounts of all these monies. And they have to furnish the clients with monthly statement listing expenses and collections. They have to apply the Malaysian Estate Agency Standard 9 in how they administer the client's money. And the client's property and inventories, they have to make sure they have proper documentations and records, and it is kept in good condition with exception of fair wear and tear. It is also essential that the registered estate agent have a good understanding of the tenancy and lease agreement and all the covenants relating to the landlord or lessor and the tenant or lessee. They should be well versed with all the legal procedure provisions relating to the landlord and tenant and lease matters under the Contract Act 1950 and any other relevant laws. They also should ensure that the tenant or lessee observe the covenants, and they should diligently monitor and enforce the covenants without any favoritism. Now, with regards to the delivery of vacant possession and the handing or taking over of the premises, now the registered estate agents have to properly coordinate the delivery. That means they have to make sure that it follows the agreed tenancy terms. And they also have to make sure that if required, the full reinstatement of the property to the original condition, then this also must be coordinated and monitored. In all these dealings and transactions, he has to make sure that it's done ethically and transparent, and also with the client's best interest in mind and to protect the client's best interest. The registered estate agent also must have an agreement with the owner landlord or their client on what is the level of service that is required by them. Okay, so this service level agreement should also include a fiduciary obligation as stated below. Okay, there's two. A, I don't want to read the whole thing, but what it means is the registered estate agent shall not receive any money, commission, gift, or donation from the vendor, supplier, contractor, or service provider for his own benefit. The second one, B, what it means is the registered estate agent cannot receive any commission, money, or kickbacks from a contract with or without the client's knowledge. So this is the end of Standard 10. Thank you.
Okay. We have 5 more minutes. I think we can log off now. And 5 more minutes, that means 4:40 masuk balik. Okay? Then we can discuss the 3 standards. Are we okay, everybody?
Okay.
Okay, so see you in 5 minutes, yeah?
Seems to be less people coming back, only 18. Okay, looks like no more coming in. Okay, share screen. Okay. Let's go back to 8. Okay, 8 is viewing. So everybody understands about viewing, kan? Viewing is basically when you already have got your respondents, those people who responded to your advertisement. So obviously they want to view the property. So that's called viewing. Okay. So that's a definition. So whatever you do, you have to make sure that you're fair. Sometimes you think that you want to push your client's interest, but you have to make sure that you are fair to everyone. Okay. In promoting your client's interest, you have to be fair to all parties. So that means when you draft and all that. So you cannot like hide certain facts. Okay. Facts have to be informed. And you have to entertain all queries. So you tak boleh choosy. Misalnya you your client says, I want only people who look green. I don't want to state races or whatever. So we just say, I want green people. Okay. So because of that, you totally ignore all the red, blue, yellow, and which is wrong. You, even though your client may not want, but you still have to entertain, because you know why? They are your potential. You can redirect them to other properties or other similar properties, or you can say this property is not available, but I can help you look for one that is more suited to you. Something like that, you see. So always entertain every queries, because every query means is a potential for you. Now signboards, I mentioned here poster walls, because poster, those in the past, there were you put up your signboard, tomorrow datang, where's my signboard? Someone else put their signboard. They pull out your signboard and just simply put their own signboard. So this is what was called poster walls, and it was very rampant. It was very rampant those days. So this is why we have this. You cannot simply replace some other agency punya signboards. Okay. And when you want to put any, you must get the approval of the client. So if the client say, I want 10 signboards, that is up to him. Okay. But for you, you got to get his client first. Okay, we go on to next one. Next one is just recording the details. Okay, the listing fact sheet. This is just to make sure that you document all your listing properly. So when you go and get your listing, you fill up this listing fact sheet so that you, whenever you bring someone to view the property, the information is there with you. Okay, so inventory update and so on. Okay, we have to go quickly about co-agency. Co-agency, you all know, it must be with the listing agent punya supervision. We already did co-agency. Semua ingat tak? Sorry, ada orang nak masuk The next one, you are inshallah, all of you will be valuers, right? So you can give a valuation, but why you want to give a free valuation to anyone? You make them pay for it. So just say, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to give you an opinion. In fact, which is also in ethics, you cannot be an estate agent and be a valuer. Okay, so you have to redirect to someone else, maybe in another branch or another colleague or something like that. Yeah. So far, so good. Any questions? Are you all there? Yes?
Yes, of course,
Yes.
doctor.
No questions?
So far, so good. Too nervous for the test later.
For the what? Oh, wait, there's someone here. Wait, no questions so far. Okay, thank you. Good.
We quite nervous for the test later. Is it easy? One.
Very easy, like open book, ma. Why? Other people where got open book? This one open book. Dr. Yasmin say open book. If left to me, I would say no open book one.
Open book also can very difficult one.
You do your best, okay? Never mind, we talk about that later. Okay, the next part is factually unsupportable statement. So whenever you want to make a statement, you make sure it is a fact. It's not just rambling on, okay, trying to make a sale. You are not a salesman, okay? You are a registered estate agent. You are a professional. So don't simply ramble on. You must make sure whatever comes out of your mouth is a fact that is supported. Is a fact that is a supported statement. That's all it's saying here. Okay. No question on 8. Okay, no questions so far. We go to 9. Okay. Do you understand what the client's account is or not? After hearing the lecture. Hello? You can key in the message. You can give me in the chat room if you already muted your name. Anyway, do you all know what's the client's account? Okay, you know a bank account, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. You all opened a bank account before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It is a company account. Okay. That means a personal account and company account is different, right? Okay. So as a company, you can open account, but it's not as freely as you as individual. Because normally a company, it depends, if it's a sole proprietor, it's almost similar as individual because it's only one owner. But if it is a partnership or corporate, you know, so there are many people involved, so it is managed differently. But still, it is a company account. Now, a client's account is similar to a company's account, but the limitations are even more because it is not the company's money. Okay? Now we go to this part. It says the client's account is where you keep the client's money. When do we hold the client's money? What money do we hold as a registered estate agent? The earnest deposit, right? The earnest deposit is not your money. Yeah, that's right. Earnest deposit, booking fee, yeah, all these things are your client's money. Booking fee is the developer. Your client is the developer, right? Earnest deposit is individual. So it's the owner's money. So you are holding it for him. Your duty is to hand it to him. Why is it that you keep it? You keep it as a stakeholder because you want to make sure that everything goes well and the property can be transferred and there is a sales and purchase agreement that is already being signed, then only you can release, okay, the earnest deposit. So you have to keep it. So you cannot keep it in your pocket. You cannot keep it in your drawers because this money is a responsibility. Do you know what I mean by fiduciary obligation, fiduciary duties? Do you know? Yes, no? You can put it in the chat. Yes, that's right. Bind by law. So you have a duty under the law, a financial duty, right? It is a financial duty, sorry, it's a financial duty which is bounded by law. Yeah, correct. No rule Ain'ni. Okay. So the moment you hold your client's money, it is not your money, so you have a duty, a legal duty, a financial and legal duty to keep it safe, which is why you open a client's account, an account that is separate from the company account. And you have to put your client's money in there, okay? So this is why we have a standard for client's account. Okay, so the board is very concerned about this duty because the board doesn't want it to be abused and misused. What is the purpose of maintaining a client's account? Okay, we already said that. Now, this at least one client's account. What I mean by this, you may have one client's account. In there, you put in Mr. Chong's money, you put in Mr. Ahmad's money, you put in Mr. Singh's money. So you have 3 or more clients in there, all into one client account. Or you may have one client who has been doing a lot of business with you. So you are managing maybe his, sorry, not managing. You are, for example, a developer, okay? So you are marketing a number of his properties. So he's got a 20 terrace house, for example. So you may open one client's account just for him. So you have 2 clients account, one for this developer and another one for all your other clients. So then it will be more than one. So the board says it's okay, you can have, but you must have at least one. Okay. Then this one. So you have to maintain it properly lah. You have to keep a register. That means whatever money is in there, you must have a register or an account that tallies with what is in the bank. And how you manage the money must also be properly registered and maintained in your account, in your account book. Okay. So the account recording. Okay, this is where the board puts a control on the client's account. So every 12 months, every company that has the client's account, first the board will ask, do you have a client's account? So you have to answer yes or no. So if your answer is yes, then you must give to the board an auditor's report, okay, by a registered professional auditor, okay? And how many branches they have and all that. So you will need to have a separate accounting, periods, a separate certificate for a separate for accounting, for each accounting period for the auditor's report. So the auditor must have a report for each of the branch, okay? Because it needs a separate certificate. So the board will require that certificate. So a separate certificate for separate accounting periods. The auditor's report must be for each place. Okay, we already talked about it. Covers for the whole year. Okay, that's already covered. Okay, so far. Okay. Now, how you take out money is also being controlled by this standard. Who can take out the money? So it depends on the signature. So it will be the registered estate agent, or it could be the partner or a registered estate agent in employment in the firm. Okay. And the standard states that if it's sole proprietor, it must be the registered estate agent who is the sole proprietor. If it's a partnership, then a registered partner, a corporate, a registered director. So except for special circumstances and the person that the board authorizes. So normally this is in case of a sole proprietor died, so somebody will have to manage this. So the money is only drawn by check in favor of course, the person who should rightly receive it is the vendor, or if it is a purchaser, for whatever reason, maybe it goes to the purchaser or the landlord or tenant. But if it is any other party, it must be authorized by the client. Money going in also, you can't just simply put any money. So you can't put your company money into the client's account. You can only put client's money. Okay. And the other thing is, okay, you get the earnest deposit. Okay. The statement here says you must put it immediately into the client's account. But immediately means where possible. The standard doesn't ask you to do the impossible. For example, you collect the money from your from the purchaser who's overseas. So happen you have to go overseas to collect the money. That's nice, huh? Anyway, say you go overseas and collect the money. So when you collect the money, your account, your bank doesn't exist in that country. So you cannot put it into the bank there. So you have to come back home and put it into the bank when you arrive. So this delay is an acceptable delay. Okay, that's what it means here. Okay, let's see what else. Next, payment to authorize. Okay. If if you open a client's account and this client's account earns any interest, you have to inform the client. And it has to be given to the client unless the client consents. Okay, normally people assume that when they get the earnest deposit, it is their fees. No, it is not automatic. Okay, so you can only deduct your fees from your client's money if the client have given you a written consent beforehand. So you must get your client to say, yes, you can deduct your fees from the earnest deposit, then you can deduct. Otherwise, you can't. Okay. Okay, this transfer to another client, generally you can't do that. Not to pay. Okay, this is how the money the client's account held or received. Is not obliged to pay into the client's. Okay, if you receive cash, then it is to be paid to your client immediately. Then you don't put it into the client's account. Okay. But if you have to wait before it's being paid, then you have to put it in the client's account. Check or draft is payable to the client. If the check is written under the client's name, then you have to give it to the client. Okay. This is important. Your account must have an insurance, professional indemnity insurance. Normally, come the second year, the board will ask you whether you will, if you have your indemnity insurance. So this account must have insurance because in case of any problems with the account, the insurance will help to cover. So this is disease. The board can appoint another agent to operate it. Okay, now we go to, do we have time to go to 10? 7:05, still can? Tadi 40, 20, okay. 25 minutes. Now we go to 10. Okay, this is a new edition. Sebelum ni tak ada. So before this, a registered estate agent cannot do property management, full stop. But now the board gives a little bit of flexibility because, for example, when I buy an investment property and I'm overseas, so it is difficult for me to collect rent and all that. So it's easier for me to just appoint someone to do it for me. And normally what they do is they get the agent to do it. So actually the agents have been doing this beforehand, but it's just that it's in between the lines sort of thing, you know. So it wasn't really put as something that they are allowed to do until this new edition. Okay. So what is tenancy administration? So if you see, the board it's smart. The board don't say property management, okay? Because property management is way broader. Yeah? You all have done property management or not? Have you done property management? Yes, done. Okay. So you know it's more than what is written here, because basically it is managing your landlord and tenant relationship. Okay. So it's just to make sure that the tenant gets what he wants and he's comfortable and he enjoys his property, and the landlord gets his rental on time, and the property is looked after so that he can attract other tenants. But again, this is limited. It cannot be for entire developments or complexes and so on. So that means they are limiting the scope of property management. Yeah, because when you talk about property management, you're looking at entire developments, complexes and all that. And common area management will be more facilities management. Yeah. So the link between landlord and tenant. So, okay, I said all that. Now, it is also their duty, the registered estate agent's duty, to make sure that the tenant follow all the laws, bylaws and obligations and so on. What is included? Tenant liaison, handing and taking over premises, which is basically what a registered agent has been doing, you know, at handing over and taking over a premises. Now, billings for to pay whatever bills, water, electricity, and so on. Collection and disbursements of rents. Coordination between contractors, which is also what a lot of agents are doing. They do up the property for the client. So this is the additional work which they do for the client. So now they can actually charge fees. Dulu, it was a bit difficult for them to charge fees, but now they can. Yeah. So payment of utilities, property tax and services, monitoring reinstatement of premises. Okay, these are what they do. Register. But when they deal with money, again, you must make sure that the money is properly collected and accounted. So must have a proper accounting system. Okay, so any terms and engagement, okay, we're almost, procedure, responsibilities, and so on must be signed and dated properly and implemented. Have to implement proper process in the collection of rents and service charge and all. That means along with your proper accounting, you must have a proper system as well. So the moment you take this on, you have to work out a proper accounting system and a proper way of collecting and accounting it into the system, and how you pay to your client and so on. And you must have your monthly statement listing expenses and collection, and you administer this in your client's account. So possibly if you're doing this, you can have an account just for your client under his name. So in source client account, and proper kept in good. Okay. Okay. The moment a registered estate agent wants to do this, he has to make sure he knows everything. Whatever's in the Landlord and Tenant Act, whatever's in the tenancy agreement, whatever is the Landlord and Tenant Act, whatever is the legal contract, and all the relevant laws related to landlord and tenant, he must know. And he must be able to advise the owner as well as the tenant when the time comes. Okay. Okay, so far so good. We have another how many minutes? 8 minutes. Now, of course, delivery of vacant possession. You will probably be handling things like stubborn tenant don't want to leave, and you have to make sure that you know the process in how to get your vacant possession. Okay, what are the legal processes that you have to do so that you can regain the premises legally. Okay. And you must be ethical. The moment you're dealing with other people's money, you have to make sure you're ethical and transparent, so that this is where your proper accounting system is very important. So all the money that goes in and goes out is clearly accounted for. And you have to keep your client's best interest protected all the time. You cannot receive any money, commission, gift, or donations from vendors, suppliers, contractors. Okay, that means you can't. This is like basically under counter money and stuff like that. And the next one is you cannot receive kickbacks. Like for example, somebody wants to gain a contract to repaint the house. Then he says, you give me the contract, I give you 10% or something like that. Okay, so kickbacks like that, you can't. Even with your client's knowledge, that is not an ethical thing to do. Okay, that is it. Thank you. Dah habis. We have another 5 minutes. So any questions? Tak ada? All gone to sleep kah?
No, we are waiting for the test.
Why you want the test? I'm not giving you the test now. The test will be given later. So stop talking about the test, all right? Okay. If there's no question, we can log out now and come in 5:20 and we do another topic. 5:20, so we have 40 minutes. Isn't it? Should go up to 6. No questions? Okay, your test will cover up to standard 10, all right?
Okay.
So lecture 1, lecture 2, and MEAS from 1 to 10. That's what, it's only these 3. And it's open book, but your answer cannot be copy paste. Your answer, you must answer in your own words. Marks will be deducted if you copy paste. Okay? Clear or not?
You mean we cannot copy from the lecture, not read it?
Yes. You can copy from the notes and copy paste exactly how I write it, that's the way you put it. No, you have to put it in your own words. How you understand, what is it that you understand? That's the only way I can know you understand. This is why I have a session with you for the tutorial for us to go through the answers. Okay? So you must understand what you're answering. Like for example, how you misunderstood about listing. Then only I know that you misunderstand and I can explain. All right. Otherwise, I am not able to detect where you don't understand. That's the whole idea of a test. And it's only 10 marks. Why you want to worry your head so much? It's not like 50 marks. Okay? It's only 10 marks. But it's a good way for me to gauge your understanding. Okay, so let us log off and come in 5 minutes time. Okay? Let's end here. Stop share. And for all. So Okay, is that it? Seems to be less now. Only 15? Okay, this next lecture is on setting up of a real estate business or real estate firm. Okay. So let's share. Okay, ready? Okay, no more coming in.
This lecture, we will discuss the types of business entities in Malaysia. I will discuss with you 5 types. Okay, one is the sole proprietor. This is owned by one individual with unlimited liability. Next is the partnership. This is owned by 2 or more individuals, also with unlimited liabilities. Next will be the limited liability partnership, owned by 2 or more to the maximum of 20 individuals. This is with limited liability. Then will be the private limited company. This is where the shares are owned by a maximum of 50 individuals and the liability is also limited. Finally, the public limited company, where the shares are open for ownership to the public and the liability is also limited. First is sole proprietorship. This is the simplest and cheapest. All it requires is to pay the annual fee to Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM for keeping it and to be renewed every year. It does not require submitting audits and annual fillings for businesses. It's owned solely by one individual. He finances it and manages it. He also bears all the risks and enjoys all the profits and is responsible for all the losses. Only Malaysian citizens and permanent residents can register under sole proprietorship. Now, the liability here is unlimited. What does this mean? This means that when they declare bankrupt, the creditors can sue for all the debts, and this includes all his personal income assets as well as his employment income. We look at partnership, okay, similar to sole proprietorship. This is governed by the partnership agreement, the agreement between the two parties. If there is none, then it will be governed by the Partnership Act. Now, what it states in this agreement or the act is the shareholding and responsibilities of each party and the grounds on how to terminate the partnership and how to deal with disputes and dealings between the partners. Owned by 2 to the maximum of 20 individuals. Now, a partnership is good because you can pool all your capitals, all the different knowledge and skills and contacts that you may have. Now, the partners, they share the risk, the profits and losses in accordance to the shareholding. This type of business, only the Malaysian citizens and permanent residents can register. Now, the liability for this is unlimited, the same as sole proprietorship. The creditors can sue for all the debts owed, inclusive of all the shareholders' personal income, assets, and their employment income as well. Another form of partnership is the limited liability partnership. This is a hybrid with the general partnership, but with the advantages of a limited liability company.
also governed by a partnership agreement or the Partnership Act, and owned by 2 to the maximum of 20 individuals. Also, only Malaysian citizens and permanent residents can register. However, the difference here is that this partnership has a limited liability. Okay, this means the partners, they are independent of the partnership. They are only responsible for the partnership's debt up to the amount that they invested and no more. So their personal assets are excluded. Next is the private limited company or Sdn Berhad. This is governed by the Companies Act 2016 and the SSM. The shareholders can be up to the maximum of 50. If it is with foreigners, 2 of the company directors must be citizens or permanent residents. Now, this private limited company is being managed by the board of directors. They are a separate legal entity from its owners. So, as a legal entity, they are a legal person that can buy or sell properties, and they can enter into legal contracts. They can sue or be sued in courts of law. With the Sdn Berhad, shares are easily transferable. There's no restrictions on increasing the share capital. The business is in continuity. It will not expire. And the liability is limited. So they are only responsible for the company's debt up to the amount they invested, and the shareholders' finance and assets are separate from the business. Finally, the public limited company. This is governed by the Companies Act, also the SSM, and on top of that, it is also governed by the Securities Commission. Now, the shareholding is unlimited. So it is open to the public to buy the shares. The company will have to be listed, and once it's listed, it is governed by the Securities Commission Malaysia. This type of company is also managed by the board of directors. It is also a separate legal entity from its owners, and the shares are also easily transferable. There is no restriction on the increase of share capital. The business is in continuity as a Sdn Berhad. It will not expire. The liability is limited. Question here is, can an estate agency firm be a public limited company? We will discuss this later. How will you set up a real estate firm under the Act? This falls under Part 3A of the Valuers, Appraisers and Estate Agent and Property Managers Act, titled Registration of Firms. Now, to set up your company, you must apply to the board to register this new company by filling in the Form N and paying the processing fee. There is an amendment. You must also send the certified true copy of the instrument that's been amended. That schedule states the amount of processing fee and registration fee required. What are the board's considerations with regards to the application? Okay, after all the particulars and documents satisfies the board's requirement, the board will consider 2 things. One is the ownership requirement. The second will be the firm's name. First, the ownership requirement. Now, all proprietors, partners, shareholders of the body corporate are to be registered with the board. All shares in a partnership body corporate must be held by a registered estate agent, and a registered estate agent can only be a sole proprietor, partner, or shareholder body corporate for only one firm. Next, the board will consider the firm's name. It will not register any name that it considers undesirable or it is likely to deceive or confuse the public, or is contrary to law, or it is found to be identical or similar to the name of another firm. This would be deceiving and confusing. Now, you can apply to the registrar to do a name search before applying. Notification of the board's decision. Now, after taking all this consideration and the board has made a decision, will notify the applicant within 30 days of the submission date. Now, what could be the board's decision? Okay, they could decide that the application do not meet the requirements. Application is then returned to the applicant, stating the date of the decision, the relevant defect, the required action. So the required action could be resubmitting after amending the specific defect, or to submit certain particulars or documents. Or the board could decide that the application is approved and the applicant is notified, stating that they have to pay the registration fee within 90 days. Failure to do so, this application is considered withdrawn, and if it is withdrawn, no application will be considered within 1 year of the approval date. The authority to practice. Once the registration fee is paid, the board will issue the authority to practice. Now, this authority will be signed by the president and the registrar and endorsed with the board's common seal. Original or the duplicate authority to practice is to be displayed in conspicuous places in the regular place of business. Also, with the duplicates, it will be displayed in the branch offices. That's all.
Okay, that is setting up. It's very clear cut, right? Any questions? Yes, where's the chat? Okay, let's go through the whole thing again. Now we're looking at the 5 types of partnership. Okay, a partner, business entities. This is general, but whether the board approves any is subject to the board. Okay, now why don't we go to the question that we say we're going to discuss? Limited liability, private. Okay. The question here is, can anybody answer this question? Can an estate agency firm be a public limited company? Yes or no? Are you still with me? Hello? Oh, I cannot paste it. Hello? Where's everybody?
Yes, Puan, we are here.
So, is the answer yes or no? Can an estate agency firm be a public limited company? Okay, what about the public limited company? Public means what?
Everybody.
Everybody.
So can an estate agency company be everybody's ownership? Can or cannot?
Possible?
Possible? Everybody agrees it's possible? Anybody can open an estate agency company?
No.
No. Yes, Nurul. Cannot. Why cannot?
Only registered agent.
Only registered. So therefore, you cannot have a public limited company, right? Because public means shareholders. And shareholders, there is no qualification for shareholders. You cannot say shareholder must be a registered estate agent. Then it is not a public listed company. Okay, that answers the question, yeah? Do I need to go through the different types of companies again? The different types of entities? The 5 types? You want me to explain any one of them? So, proprietorship. Clear tak? Two very simple. Just, hello, who's that? Making noise. Clear kan? Only one person, and that person must be a registered person. Partnership. Okay, do you understand about, sorry, my spelling tersalah, is not liability, is liability, okay? LIA, here is betul, LIA, liability, sini liability pula, sorry. So, okay, sole proprietor, but being alone and being unlimited, that means he will be responsible for anything. Anyone can sue him up to his underpants. You know what I mean? Everything he owns. Everything he owns is out there. Anybody can sue him. This is what is meant by unlimited liability. You all dah belajar ni belum? Have you studied this before? Yes? Oh, you already studied this? Okay, under what subject? Oh, in year 1. What subject was it? Then I don't know why they're asking me to teach you this. What subject is that? Accounting. Oh, okay. I don't see how it's linked anyway. So these are all the different types. Huh? So then we don't have to go through that then. Then what is more important is the registration part. So the first thing you have to think about is, what is your name? Okay. Normally, a lot of people, they look at the name because they don't want a name. Oh, business valuation pun ada. Oh, banyak kali dah belajar ni. Why are they telling me to teach you? Anyway. So, shall we move on? And you can go off earlier. Any questions then? Then I shall leave you to ask questions, because this is very straightforward. Anything that you want to know? You want to set up your company, for example. Is there anything that you want to ask? It doesn't have to be in the notes. What's that sound? Huh? Okay, I think another thing, because now if you become a registered valuer, You can be a registered estate agent as well as a registered property manager. Okay, you get 3 licenses. So when you open your company, you can have 3 different sections. Okay, you can have 3 different sections. Your name can be with 3 different sections in the company, but your name can only be under one company. So you can open a branch or a subsidiary company, but all under one company. Okay, so this is the thing about being a valuer. You get 3 registrations. So, but you must get yourself registered with the board. Okay, so when you do your TPC as a valuer, you automatically get 3.
One,
Yeah.
can we say we are the property surveyor?
Property surveyor, property consultant.
I heard this term property surveyor. Can we consider ourselves as a property surveyor?
You are considered a surveyor because you fall under the ISM. So PCVS, what is that? Property consultant, valuer, PCVS, valuation surveyor. That's what you are. If you go under ISM, yeah, you look at ISM, that they have a name as a, at the end of it is a surveyor. But you can't just simply put a property surveyor, that's too general. That's why you have property consultant, I think consultant, PC evaluation surveyor. Do you know what's ISM or not? In the Royal Institute of Surveyors, Malaysia. You know?
Yes, we got attend the talk also.
You've attended the talk. So you will be considered a surveyor because you fall under the ISM. Okay? But you have to be careful your name don't coincide with the other surveyors. You have the land surveyor, you have the quantity surveyor. So you have to be very careful about your name. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I'm asking you. Would you think of being a registered estate agent when you leave, when you finish your university?
Possible.
Would you consider? You would consider?
Yes, because can earn big money.
Yeah, and less responsible. People don't sue you as much as valuers. Valuers get sued more. Anyway, okay. Do you have any other questions? We have about another 12 more minutes. Okay, what are you trying to say? Giving me all these noises. Okay, you want to ask about the test? You can ask now. Are you aware? How are you managing with your project?
What you mean, the assignment?
Yeah, assignment, yeah. Dah start belum? You
Yes.
kena hand. Yeah. You have no problem with it? Okay, je, we managed to interview. Oh, good. You have interviewed some people. Okay, but you don't just copy paste again, make it you are the one who's doing it. You can't get confidential documents. What kind of confidential documents do you want? Well, what you don't get, you can assume, or you can pretend lah. You know, that's a good thing about a project. It doesn't have to be real. If you think you need that particular document and you can't get it, you conjure up. It doesn't have to be an actual document. Okay. Any other questions that you may have? For your test or assignment, ada soalan tak? We have 10 more minutes. No question. Nak cabut lah. Okay, your test covers lecture 1. How about if we exceed the number of words? Exceed sikit tak apa, but not too much. Why do you want to write too much? If you exceed too much, that means you have put a lot of unnecessary things. Look back at what you've written, or you could be repeating and repeating. Okay, so the number of words there is a guide. Lebih sikit acceptable, kurang sikit acceptable. Yeah. What was my question just now? Okay, I want to tell you about the test. The test is everything in lecture 1, lecture 2, and the Malaysian Estate Agency Standards. It does not include setting up of the real estate firm. Okay? So everything that you have studied up to the standards is open book, which means when I send it to you, you can look through your notes. Some answers are direct, some answers are not. You have to apply. You have to understand and apply. Okay? There are only 10 questions. Not many, only 10 questions. All right? And I want you to write, I don't want you to write long essay. I don't want to read a storybook. Okay? Write point form, but your point, don't just put one word point. You put it in a proper sentence so that I understand what you're saying. Okay? But put it as point 1. For example, I ask, give me 4 something, something, something. Okay? So you say, okay, 1, this is it. 2, this is it. 3, okay? So that I know you have covered all the 4. Instead of trying to distinguish where one starts and where it ends. Okay? Remember, I don't want a storybook. I want straight to the point. Straight to the point, answer the question. Okay, any other questions? We have only about 9 minutes. Kalau tak ada, we can shoot off.
Oh, what you mean is you want the answer is short and simple. Is it?
Yes.
Direct.
Short, but understandable. Don't give me one word answer and I don't know what you're trying to say. Okay?
Point form better or the paragraph?
You can put it as point, but your point will be a short paragraph, not too long. You get what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? That means I don't want you to write a long story paragraph. You be short and sweet as long as you explain exactly. If I ask for explanation, you explain it. Short and sweet. But don't too short and too sweet, it becomes sour. I don't understand. Okay? Okay, no more questions? I'm looking at the chat too. If you want to put in the chat, you can put in the chat.
Maybe Puan, you can share the test with us. So we read one time, we read through one time, and then we got problem, you can ask now.
No. It doesn't work that way. This is open book. You don't have to wait for me to tell you where to look at it. You know, you will know when I ask you when you read the question. Okay? Doesn't work that way, not for test. It's too simple for you. It's open book some more. Ayo. You want me to feed you? Ayo. Yeah, 24 hours. I'm going to give you later today. Well, today I'm going to give it to you. You give it to me. You return it to me by the latest 11:59 p.m. That means tomorrow night, the latest, so that on the 26th morning, I will get your answer. Okay, the next question, do you all have my email address or not?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, I will WhatsApp you which email to send it to. I have to check which one are the space. Okay. And you send it there. All right, you send the email there. And I will WhatsApp you. So tomorrow, malam, esok, you send it to me. So you have the whole day to focus on it. Okay. And I don't think you need the whole day. You probably need, the most is 1 hour to 2 hours. If you are slow at reading, you probably take 2 hours. If you're fast and you understood all my lectures so far, it will take you 1 hour the most. Okay, so I will WhatsApp you, okay? Any questions, you can WhatsApp me in the group. Don't WhatsApp individual, I tak layan. You WhatsApp in the group, okay? So that everybody also get your question and also get my answer. Okay, so we can log off now until the 27th. Then we do the answers, all right? Okay then, stop sharing. Right, have a good day. Bye.